This is our Forex blog for May 19th, 2014, and this is our, before I show our signals, I'll show our currency indexes. This lets you see what each individual currency is doing. You can see the dollar is trending down, it's underneath the hourly moving average. It's not really able to make new lows and breaks out above the trend line off the highs. You can see trend line breaks on individual currencies, which means basically all the dollar pairs are going up. You can see the euro, it's above its hourly and it's slowly trending up. The yen is also very strong. You can see the daily, weekly, monthly trend is up. Our currency signals, FX trade signals, this is what I use internally to help me improve signals. You can see a small win right here. Earlier in the day, small win, loss, pretty much a very tiny loss, big win, medium win, found the low, wrote it up. This is a fib target of that last wave, and the one that we actually released to our traders just shows the buy and sell areas and not the swings and the angles. I use the actual angles of the swing highs and lows to do that. The one that we released to our users pretty much just looks like this, and it just shows you the buy and sell signals along with the trailing stop. The trailing stop is very sophisticated. There's close to 25 different rules that are in there now that know what's going on, how strong or weak the market is, where the momentum is, and we know whether to have a wide stop or a tight stop. If the market is moving statistically too much, we rapidly tighten the stop. Here's what the release version looks like. It basically just shows you arrows on the chart. And one other thing I'm planning on releasing soon, just because it's just amazing, and many of these are actually used in our signals. It's really improving the accuracy of our signals, and these are Gann angles, and these basically are projected from the swing high and low that we also automatically pick up. And as soon as I get these perfected on other markets such as stocks, futures, and other markets that our traders that buy our software use, I'm going to release it. But basically it allows you to plot from the swing point high down, from the high up, from the low up, and the low down. And you can also put on steep angles, which will show you the steeper ones. And this is a phenomenal tool that kind of lets you see where the market is trending. If a currency is underneath the 45-degree angle, which is green and red, you want to stay in that trade. And it's amazing how often they just kind of walk up them. You know, if you really believe that the pound is weak and the yen is strong, you could sell a break of the 45. It comes down underneath the very shallow 6-degree angle, is not able to go lower and breaks out. You know, a discretionary trader could wait for a move up to get in, and you can also use these steep angles as profit targets. Let's say you wanted to, and the only reason I'm showing this is I'm planning on releasing it probably next weekend. It's a pretty sophisticated tool. Only our professional traders are probably going to use it. Amateur traders probably not. But you can see the very steep angles with the dotted lines. This is a very big, strong trend up, and you can see it kind of fell underneath that line, went up again, and then fell. That's a very moves of that steepness tend to reverse, and so because the previous trend was down, this is actually one of the signals based on the Gann angles. But if you had bought down there because you see a double bottom, getting out at these Gann angles is pretty high probability. You can see it came down to the 45. If you want to exit at the 45, it's you know, with a big move up like that, when fib areas also hit Gann angles, you tend to have very, very high probability trades. And you can see, you know, I'll show you an instance of that. Here's the swing high. Here's the swing low. It pulls up to the 50% retracement. It's not at the steepest angle, which means, you know, the market kind of found a low and just kind of gradually went up. It's a much higher probability selling the 50% when it's at the I think it's the 63 angle versus the 71 or whatever, and so that's a much higher probability trade. If you're a scalper, you can, you know, pick up 5 to 10 or 15 pips over and over and over with that. the second one is a double top right here at the 50% Fibonacci, so it doesn't matter so much that it's at the steeper level. And then once you're short here, you can use these, again, like I said, as profit targets in helping you stay into the trade. So instead of plotting the low up, you want to plot the high down because you're short from this point right here. And you can see it quickly fell underneath the steepest of the angles. It came back up and really didn't get above the second steep angle. And then as it's working its way down, guess what? It's coming back into that range here. And if it goes above the Gann 45, the downtrend's probably over. It's probably likely to go up at 10 pips or so. But you can just simply, when you see it come back from a steeper angle like this, put your stop here. And you can see it's just kind of going sideways, so hang on a little bit longer. And as it goes down again, if it doesn't really catch up and hit that Gann angle, the steep one, you might want to get out. Or if it does actually go sideways and come down and hit it, it's probably over. And you can draw your fib targets off that first wave, and based on the angles C, you can see it's coming down. It's below the 1.382 fib, and it's not, super weak, or else it would be at this steep angle. So you could exit, a little bit of your trade here, and hit the 1.38 of the last swing, and also this first, little tiny swing here. So it's probably likely to move up to 120, 130 area. It's kind of going sideways, so you can exit half. The fact that it doesn't, if you are watching the markets and they don't do what you're anticipating, hang on, or exit your trade if you bought down there, or if you're still short, maybe exit half your trade and put your stop above the high of the little sideways consolidation. So you can see it finally did, work up at least 10 pips from that area, because you can see it's falling at a not a very steep angle. So this is a pretty phenomenal tool. Here's the euro dollar, and I'll just show the Gann angles on that as well. I'm not going to go over the currency indexes like I do most days, just because one of the reasons that we do the Forex blog every day is to kind of showcase new stuff. You can see this currency, was working its way up from the lows. Let's put the steep angle on and remove the projection from the high. The only thing I don't like about this tool, and it's very hard not to, there's just so many lines. So if you're going to use this to discretionarily trade, you're going to have to keep changing the angles. But guess what? As this thing is going up, it starts off initially at the steep angle, comes down, it's walking its way up a little bit. It's not even able to hit the steep angle here. So you can, if you're a short-term trader, look for sells in this area, because you can risk a tiny amount if you're wrong. And you can see in this case it really didn't collapse down. This is a potential profit target. It never really even hit it. So you can move your stop from there to here, and at least you locked in some kind of profit in the trade. And guess what? As it's walking its way up again, it's not able to get above there, so you could again sell the breakdown, risking very tiny amounts of money. And in this case, you probably want to put the projections from the high down just to give you a profit target. These things make amazing profit targets. So once you got short up there, you can see it's kind of walking its way down at a very steep angle. It had two bars where it really kind of failed. And typically, once the currency, they're all at steep angles for the first 3 to 5 bars, but as it continues, if you see any signs of reversing, like a bar closing over the previous bar's open, it's usually the end of the move. And anytime our buy signals give you a buy, because the last swing was up, it made a higher high, so the market is kind of bullish right now. You want to, get out of your short, flip and go long, and then from that low, just go back to the studies, adjust it, and plot it from the low up. You can plot it from the high up and down. You can plot it from the low up and down. If you're long, you want to plot it from the low. And also, by the way, you can also plot from the high up as for also profit targets. And like I said, there's so many lines on here, I let you turn them on and off. But let's say you wanted to plot it from the previous low down. It makes a great place to get into trades frequently. You can see from this low here, guess where the reversal is? Right at the the projection of the Gann angle down. And it's typically, if the market's not that weak, the, I think, 26% angle down is a pretty decent one. It oftentimes lines up with the fib target of the last swing. When you see these fib areas lining up with Gann angles, they're very high probability trades. And I really honestly believe you can make a living just trading off of Fibonacci, trend lines, and Gann angles. And these automatically are plotted on the chart. You just have to decide if the last swing is down and the market's going down, you want to plot the Gann angles off the low. If you're buying right here, you can plot the Gann angles off the high as a potential profit target right here. Watch. Plot the high down. If you were in a long trade down there, guess what? Came right up to the 45 angle, and it slightly went above it with a wick and closed down. You could exit your trade because the trend is clearly down, and you could also initiate a new short trade. And you can see it came down and double bottom, and it's not able to go lower. It's outside of the steep angles. You want to exit your trade. I mean, like I said, you can make a living trading off of Gann angles, fib retracements, fib targets, and also trend lines, which we have the trend lines in our system, and I probably will create a specialized study that you can just add those to your charts. And these Gann angles allow you to, I mostly use 15 pip swings, but you could use bigger swing sizes if you wish. So, you know, it wouldn't use this as the high, it would use this. So you can kind of customize this for short-term, longer-term trading, or anything in between.